This is a fish. This is another fish. And together, they make more fish. In most fish species, the female lays her eggs in the bottom of the ocean, and the male comes and fertilizes the eggs by releasing sperm into the water. The eggs that become fertilized become larvae that eventually becomes a fry that eventually becomes a juvenile fish. This is the standard procedure for marine animal reproduction. But there are certain animals who choose not to reproduce this way. In fact, many animals produce in extremely odd ways. Here's a rundown of marine animals that have a weird mating ritual. Pufferfish is already a weird species of fish to begin with. As a defense mechanism, they puff up their body like a balloon so predators are incapable of eating them. But when a pufferfish wants to find a mate, they engage in much stranger activities. To attract female pufferfish, the male creates fancy circular designs on the bottom of the sea floor. If a female happens to swim by and is impressed by the design, they will mate with the male and lay their eggs in the middle of the circle. While the female is free to swim away, the male is stuck guarding the eggs until they become larvae. In most species of the animal kingdom, the male is usually built larger in size and more fit than the female. But for the anglerfish, the female is the complete dominant sex. The male anglerfish is significantly smaller than the female anglerfish and usually has trouble finding food in the deep sea. Once a male finds a female, the male will physically attach itself to the female like a parasite and feed off of the female's blood. The male becomes nothing more than a sperm factory that fertilizes the female's eggs. If the male never finds a female, then it will unfortunately die. Flatworms are hermaphrodites, which means each individual flatworm can act as both a male and female. To determine who becomes the male or female, the flatworms engage in a form of sword fighting with their penises. After a long battle, the winner who pierces the other with their dagger-like penis injects sperm into the hemocoel and becomes the victorious male. The clownfish, much like flatworms, are also hermaphrodites. The largest clownfish among a group generally becomes the female and breeds with the second largest fish, who then becomes the male. Once the largest of the group dies, the second largest becomes the female and the third largest becomes the male. Once the third largest dies, the fourth becomes the male, and so on. So in Finding Nemo, when Nemo's mom died, technically